most top requested types of homes to talk about is a barndominium. So today we're going to be talking about the 5 lies that people tell you about barndominiums, because I get this request so much, and there's a good reason why I don't really talk about them, because they're not really what you think they are. They're nothing like your grandma's condominium, that's for sure. First things first, what is a barndominium? As cute as they are, they're just a metal building or a barn that looks like a barn on the outside, and in the inside it is a beautiful, spectacular home. Barndominiums have grown in popularity, especially in the last couple of years, and you see a lot of them around areas of Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana. In the southern states, they seem to be very popular, but they're growing in popularity throughout the United States. And again, most people are looking for them as an affordable housing option. But I think you might be sorely disappointed, because they're not necessarily as affordable as you may think. Timberline.com has barndominiums from barns to homes to commercial real estate. They have decades of experience as leaders and innovators in the timber frame and post beam industries. Whether you dream of a rustic post and beam barn for your horse or a majestic timber frame home, together they will unlock your vision to create the structure with by beauty and sustainability and strength of wood. This will give you the more traditional type of barndominium type of home that most people are looking for right now. Now, the first thing that most people don't understand when you have a barndominium, and what makes it not necessarily the most affordable option, is the foundation itself. The foundation has to be set for a metal building, because they are a metal building. They have to have the steel frames, and they have to be able to have the weight of a metal building. So the amount of concrete that you would need for a foundation is going to be a lot more than it would be for the typical home. Another thing is you're going to want to have a soil compaction test and an engineered type of foundation. Some metal building companies will tell you that you do not need to have a soil compaction or that extra type of concrete, but I promise you, don't listen to necessarily a metal framing building company. Listen to an engineer that knows about framing for a barndominium or a metal type building itself. You want to make sure that you have that in place and have the right foundation, because the foundation of your house is going to be the thing that holds your whole home together for the lifetime of it. If you're going to have a metal building like this, you want to make sure that it has the right type of foundation. I can't iterate that enough. And I know that it seems cheaper when you listen to some companies and they tell you don't need that, but you're going to be regretting that decision later on down the road when you're having problems with the foundation and you're having to have that repaired. And nobody wants to have to deal with that. Foundation repairs can cost you tens of thousands of dollars in the future. Just go ahead and invest that money now if you are planning on doing a barndominium. Don't go cheap on a foundation. Here's another barndominium website that you may want to look at, mortonbuildings.com. They can make it from a small garage to an elaborate workshop for your next home. A residential building designed and constructed by Morton is one of a kind, just like each one of their customers. From the foundation to the roof, in all aspects of energy efficiency, Morton buildings are custom to fit your needs. The Morton Advantage means that every component used is designed and tested, manufactured and constructed to the maximum strength and integrity of Morton's building system. They also examine your individual needs to make sure your residential building is designed to stand up to loads that will require it to carry it through a lifetime. Now, another thing you should know if you're planning on building a barndominium is plan on a budget. Now, I know that seems like, of course you're going to plan on a budget. In many cases, like my clients, they're building a metal building first, and then they're going to turn it into a home. Budget all that out. because you may find out that if you had worked with an actual designer of those specific types of barndominiums, you might have actually saved yourself some money because of the fact that they already know how to design it with the metal building in mind. Because a lot of times you have something in your head and you think it's going to be costing you a lot less. Then once the metal building's put together and you're trying to turn it into a home, it ends up costing you a lot more. But if you had had a designer that understands barndominiums and turning metal buildings into homes, you would have saved yourself like tens of thousands of dollars when it comes to where the plumbing needs to go, where wall needs to go, and how much your insulation you're going to need. Hire yourself a designer that understands barndominiums first. Don't go cheap. And not only that, you'll be spending a lot more money than you originally planned on. Nobody likes spending more money. I don't like spending more money. My grandma doesn't like spending more money. That's not what I want you to do with my inheritance, please. The resale value of a barndominium has yet to be established. You'll have to contact a real estate professional to know the actual value of barndominiums and how they resell. If you're unsure of the barndominium that you currently have, you can always contact an appraiser to know the true value of the resale of your home. All right, before you even decide on putting together a barndominium and your plans together, take those plans and bring it to your local county or parish here in Louisiana and see if you're going to be allowed to have a permit to build it in the first place. I know it's a very popular type of building, but doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be allowed in your specific area. Then once you get your plans approved, go ahead and take that to your local loan officer and see what kind of loan that you can do. So there's new construction loans when it comes to metal buildings, but they might have a different type of plan that might work out best for you. Something called an interim loan would be a great way to start with putting together your metal building and turning it into a house. So that way you'll have certain kinds of draws that are pulled out during the time that your home is being built. This will roll in the land and the building itself into one loan after it's completely finished. But that way all that money isn't put up front by you or your lender, and then the person walks off the job. Most lenders aren't going to do that anyways, but if you were planning on paying cash, make sure that you have some kind of draw system where not all the money is paid up front. I've already seen it or talked to somebody recently that they had paid in cash and it took them almost 3 years to have their barndominium finished. That brings me to my other point though. If you are working with a company that does do barndominiums, make sure you can see other projects as they have completed in your specific area. Ask if you can see any kind of reviews that they have had, and ask if you can tour one of their current projects to see how far along they are and if this is something you really want to do. And lastly, look on the internet. Like, the internet is full of knowledge when it comes to anybody in a business, and you can find the good, the bad, and the ugly all over all social media sites with any company that's building anything. Doesn't have to be necessarily a barndominium. It could be a tiny home, any kind of home. When it comes to construction, Facebook seems to be the best place to find the best reviews on builders. Local Facebook groups even seem to be better. They seem to dish out the most dirt on people. Now, here's some words you never want to hear from me say, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. HOAs and restrictions. When you have a piece of land that you've purchased, you're going to want to check to see if your HOA allows for a barndominium. Even though it's considered a home on the inside and the county approves it, that doesn't necessarily mean that the HOA will approve it. So check with them as well. And it's no matter how old the piece of property is and you've had it for years, you're still going to want to check with some local title company to see if there is any filed restrictions on the piece of land, because nothing would be worse is somebody from some HOA to knock on your door and tell you that you have to tear it down or you're going to be fined to high heaven. And I know you've owned the land forever and you're going to be able to do it, blah, 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 blah. No, trust me, it happens. It's happened and it will happen again. If they don't like it and they don't want you to have it, they're going to make sure you remove it. Today, barndominium builders such as Steel Co. Buildings offer steel frame buildings in any size, from everything from a small storage space to a home. Check out these floor plans to see how versatile steel frame building can be. The price is shown next to the design or what you pay if you want to purchase a set of building drawings to build your own plan. Interior build-out is best provided by an experienced local housing builder contractor. Steel Co. does not generally provide these services with their customers. These plans serve the purpose of enabling an interior build-out construction process, utilizing local resources in ordinary contracted by the homeowner themselves. Here's a lie that people tell you, but it actually is a good thing for you if you're planning on building a barndominium. They'll tell you that the insurance on them is higher, and it couldn't be further from the truth, because actually the insurance for a barndominium here in Louisiana, I don't know about other states, but in Louisiana is actually the same amount as it would be for any other housing structure, as long as it meets their certain requirements, and it will insure just like a regular house. So if you planned on getting a 2,000 square foot house, it would cost you exactly the same as it would for a 2,000 square foot barndominium. Good to know, right? Now, those rates would change if it was a 2-story or not. I don't know why. Now, I was able to talk to another couple who has already built their Barndominium, and they said that they did have a small issue with getting homeowners insurance. So find out that ahead of time as well. How hard is it going to be able for you to get homeowners insurance? They were able to go through Progressive and get insurance, but it was kind of a little bit of a hassle. The coverage is exactly the same as it would be for a standard home, and they were able to get the contents and the outside of the building covered. But just check that ahead of time, especially in your specific area. That is something you're just going to want to have to budget for. One of the biggest advantages of owning a barndominium in places like Texas and Oklahoma and some other states as well is that it's considered an agricultural building. Even though it's technically a house, they still consider it an architectural building that is considered a barn. So they give you a tax break. So if you're considering this to kind of offset your property taxes, this would be really good. But again, you're going to have to find out how many acres of land that is required to be with that barndominium itself in order for it to be considered an agricultural piece of property to offset those taxes. Again, proper prior planning prevents, I won't say the next word, performance. That's what my dad always says. If you're truly looking for that barn wood look, you may want to check out dcbuilding.com. They have beautiful homes and lots of reviews on the internet. You can check them out at dcbuilding.com. This would be the high end of homes that you would do in a barndominium type style. On their website, they have everything you could possibly need to know about their specific types of barndominiums. They have a full gallery with floor plans and building kits. Barndominiums are energy efficient. They can actually save you a lot on your taxes. They're aesthetically super cute, but that doesn't mean they're going to be affordable. Maybe they should make barndominiums into condominiums. I could make a fortune. And it doesn't mean that the people that are putting in your metal building know what they're talking about, especially if you're planning on living there full time. If you want to watch another video about lies home builders tell you, go ahead and click this video right here. My name is Kristina Smallhorn, your real estate whisperer, because good real estate information matters.